Hey, Shalom, Sister Kate here. Welcome back to the second version of not 5, but 6. Whoop, I've only got one hand. 6 ways of or reasons for storing food that are not related to the apocalyptic end of the world. Let's get started. First video was okay, but I thought of another reason after I had filmed it, and I wasn't happy with the way I related things, and so I wanted to reshoot it. So this is the second time I'm shooting this video. Thank you for coming back. Please comment if you commented last time. And the number one reason that I have, now all these reasons are going to be a benefit to you. That's why I want to put them out. Because you can save time, money, all sorts of resources by doing a little food storage. And more than just, I mean, 3 days is still good. That's what's recommended by the federal government, at least. Like, I think the Red Cross says 3 days and the government says 2 weeks. But job change. We have had friends who have had job change come upon them quickly. And I'm not saying they were fired, but like maybe their company's bought by somebody else, or for whatever reason their position disappears, but the company wants to keep them on, but they like put them on a temporary hold. They have lived off their food stores during that job change time, and they didn't, lose any money or become in dire financial straits because they had food stored, and so they just ate what they had stored, and then they replenished it after, the job change thing resolved itself. So that's one reason. A second reason is, suppose you have a health crisis. Suppose you have to go to the hospital for a certain amount of time, or when you come back from the hospital, your significant other has to take care of you, that you're bedridden, or just unable to walk or do your normal function. If you have food stored up, then your spouse does not have the added burden of having to leave the house and go shopping and come back and do that as often as it's needed to feed you and or your family. So that's the second reason. A third reason is food shortages / food poisoning. As you know, in the news, there have been all sorts of food poisoning scares. Listeria in food, ice cream can't be eaten, eggs can't be eaten, the meat in your area is contaminated. You can have drought in certain parts of the country. You can have, like South America was having problems, I forget how many years ago, but sugar became, an item that the price went up and it was hard to get a hold of. So if you have food stored, and at least a year as Pastor Joe recommends, then when the food, the sugar goes from $3 for 5 pounds to $8 for 5 pounds, you are not having to spend that extra money because you put your sugar up way back when it was like $2 for 5 pounds. And it can carry you over. And then in order to replenish that, you wait until sugar goes on sale again to an acceptable price, and then you replenish your stores. That's a third reason. Reason number 4 is economics. You do your food storage, and the really smart way to do it is buy your bulk stuff when it goes on sale. Then you will have paid the lowest price for that item, and if you get it in bulk, then you're going to be eating those, let's just say 50-cent cans of Campbell's soup, which is what the price was 20 years ago. If I had bought cases of it, I would still be eating 50-cent cans of Campbell's instead of paying $1.25, $1.75, which is what Walmart is asking for the same cans of soup now. That's one version of the economics behind food storage. But another one is, now imagine you make your own veggie soup from your own ingredients, from things you grow in your garden, like your tomatoes and your potatoes and your onions, and you can it yourself. That can of vegetable soup is going to be costing pennies on the dollar, even less than the one that you bought. So you can save a lot of money by doing food storage, you know, by taking care of your food needs on your own, I guess, but also taking advantage of sales and things for items that you can't produce yourself, like meats, first aid items, etc. Reason number 5 is weather issues. Weather does not have to be an apocalyptic worldwide disaster, but it could be a disaster in your particular area. As you can tell, my particular area right now is getting a lot of rain. And one of the side effects of that rain can be roads are not working, and I cannot get to places I need to go. So if I have food storage, when I run out of, say, the ketchup, I won't have to get in my vehicle and go down dangerous paths in order to get that item. If I have 6 months of it stored up, then you know, I'm good. I can hang out for weeks and weeks and weeks with ice storms or mudslides or whatever. So that's a 5th reason, and there's one more. Stay tuned. And the 6th reason, and the one that I thought of after I shot the first video, but I thought really does have some significance, is for cooking ease. And I will give you, for instance, I was making fried rice the other morning, and I was using several different spices that needed to go into it. And I wanted ponzu sauce, which is a kind of Korean soy sauce, citrus flavoring mix. It adds a lot to Oriental cooking. And I had another bottle. I had run out, and the original bottle was empty. So behind in my spice area, there was another full bottle. And so I didn't have to make a separate trip to run all the way into town to get that spice that I wanted. By having food storage, I saved time and effort, and that's important in everyday life as well as in end of the world scenarios. You are a precious resource. You want to use your precious resource as smartly, as frugally as you can. All right, so those are my 6 reasons for having food storage, having nothing to do with fear porn or the end of the world as we know it. I hope it has helped you. Bless you. Shalom.